Roy Moore has been accused of inappropriately touching, to say the least, many girls under the age of 18. There are some 16 to 18-year-olds he has admitted dating and says he likes beautiful young girls. He does not admit that he sexually assaulted a 14-year-old when he drove her into the woods into his house and took off almost all her clothes, took off all his clothes, etc. Okay, and tried to get her to touch his naked genitalia. He does not admit that he took a 16-year-old in his car and drove around to the back of the parking lot and tried to rape her. Now, those are stories that have come out. They're very credible. They're so credible that even Republican leadership has turned on Roy Moore and said that even if he wins, he maybe should not be seated. Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, says that he believes the women. He left a 16-year-old on the cold pavement, half naked, after he had tried to take her clothes off, and she fought back, and he pushed her out of the car. That's who Roy Moore is. By the way, she has evidence of him signing her yearbook before that incident, talking about what a cute little girl that she is. He's in his 30s at the time. But nope, some conservatives think not only do they not believe the women, but that even if they did believe the women, what's the big deal? Okay, you think it's an exaggeration? Listen to them for yourself. Here's Wayne Allen Root, a despicable right-wing talk show host.
And by the way, let's even throw the idea out there that it's true that 39 years ago, Roy Moore was a 32-year-old district attorney, handsome and swashbuckling, and he was hitting on some young girls who were pretty. I saw the pictures. They were beautiful young girls, and they could have passed for 20.
He was a swashbuckling handsome. How do you even know how handsome he was or how swashbuckling? But that's the thing. That's what these guys, they think, hey, you want to hit on a 14-year-old? Now that's wrong? Yes, it's wrong. And I saw the picture he's referring to. I don't want to keep showing the picture of a 14-year-old girl. But you know what she looks like? 14. It's a picture with her mom. She looks like a young girl that doesn't look anywhere near 20. I'll give you more details. This is from Brad Reed at Raw Story. He said, in reality, one of Moore's accusers says that he tried to force her to touch his genitals when she was 14 years old. So it's not a thing about it. Wayne Allen Root said, oh, he was just kissing them, what's the big deal? No, he did way worse than that. He then said, additionally, Moore knew that at least some of the women he was pursuing were still teenagers because he sought some of their parents' permission to date their daughters. Oh, I mean, how could have been 20? I mean, he asked permission from the 16-year-old's mom if this pervert can date, this 32-year-old guy could date the 16-year-old and try to have sex with her. So, but could have been 20. No, Moore knew she wasn't 20 in that case. Root went on to claim that while Moore may have indeed made sexual advances towards teenagers, he at least wasn't a homosexual like Hillary Clinton or former President Barack Obama. These people are lunatics and dangerous ones. Because if Wayne Allen Root thinks it's no big deal for a man in his 30s to try to make out with a 14-year-old and then do far worse, well, he's also very dangerous. But we're not done yet. We now go to pastors, evangelical pastors. Now, these are men of the cloth. I mean, these are men who are really religious and hence moral, right? So the Boston Globe did a good job. They went and asked them. So they interviewed nearly 10 evangelical pastors, all of whom said the allegations did not change their support for the candidate. Of course not. One of the guys was Pastor Earl Wise. He said, I don't know how much these women are getting paid, but I can only believe they're getting a healthy sum. So no, never believe the women. It's not to say that all women are, well, by definition, right? But here you have almost the entire Republican leadership saying that they are right. You've got untold number of witnesses, including at the time the women come out of this situation, reported to their boyfriends, to their loved ones from all the way back then when they had no idea that Roy Moore would ever run for the Senate or have any important political position. And they had told people back then, but no. Earl Wise, an evangelical pastor, says, no, I don't believe them. They're all getting paid for it. But it gets worse. He says there ought to be a statute of limitations on this stuff. How these gals came up with this, I don't know. They must have had some sweet dreams somewhere down the line. I'm pretty sure that the 16-year-old who said that Roy Moore tried to rape her in his car and tore her clothes off and tried to force her head down onto his genitals did not have sweet dreams about it. These men are disgusting and saying like, oh, come on, why is there a statute of limitations on child molestation? By the way, there's a statute of limitations on almost all other crimes in Alabama, but not on child molestation. And here's an evangelical pastor saying, oh, now you molest a 14-year-old and you can't get away with it? If they find out later, there's gotta be a limit on that. But he's not done. He says, plus, there are some 14-year-olds who the way they look could pass for 20. In other words, here's these pastors who keep looking at 14-year-olds, thinking about how attractive they look, as attractive as they think 20-year-olds apparently look. 10 evangelical pastors, all of them said, nope, don't care about kids, morality, whatever. Women are probably liars, they're probably doing it for the money, and even if they're not, in the case of Earl Wise, he says, so what? I mean, some 14-year-olds look hot. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea that this is all Christians or all Christian leaders. Absolutely not. A group of nearly 60 progressive pastors has denounced Roy Moore, calling him extremist and unfit for office. Now, those are progressive pastors. Evangelical pastors, on the other hand, supporting Roy Moore, well, now you know what you're getting with them, and I wouldn't put any kids in any of their churches. And I wouldn't trust them if your kid's life's depended on it. But they seem to think, I don't care if you're in my tribe. Morality was always a punchline apparently for them. They never ever cared. It was all a front for tribalism. If you're in my tribe, I protect you. Even if you've done something terrible to other people, even in our own tribe. But that's okay, they had it coming, they were cute 14-year-olds. Why do they stick with Roy Moore? He's against the other tribes. He hates the same people I hate. For conservative evangelical pastors that are backing Roy Moore today, that is apparently what they mean by family values. I hate the same people as Roy Moore. Wow, what values? At least thank you for making it clear. Help us build independent media. Become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.